Waiting for the computers to come up. There you go. Okay, I'd like to bring the Upper Moreland Township Community Development Committee meeting for October 21st, 2024 to order. First thing, I'd like to have a moment of silent meditation. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, in attendance, we have Commissioner Mullen, Commissioner Skull, and myself. We have Sean Kilkenny from Kilkenny Law, Paul Pertell from Code Enforcement, Dave Alseer from Public Works, and Pat Stacio as the Township Manager. Any announcements?
No, sir.
Okay. Any presentations?
No, sir.
Okay. Any non-agenda items for tonight for public comments? Okay. Approval of the minutes for September 16th. Do we have any corrections?
I'm good with it.
I'm good.
From the public? Okay, we'll move them into the record. Next, land development subdivision. Under new business, a request for amusement devices at 800 South York Road. Do we have somebody here for this?
Good evening. My name is David Shafkowitz. I'm here tonight on behalf of the owner and operator of what I think the board is familiar with as the In-N-Out convenience store, located, I think, at 808 South York Road. As the board probably knows from our request, we're looking for some guidance on a potential waiver of the ordinance requirement to allow certain amusement type games in the establishment. This particular owner has been operating the store since 2021. The prior owner has been operating this, has had these amusement machines, I guess, in this location since 2018. There were 4 located in the store. Honestly, Paul, I don't remember when the ordinance was adopted, but subsequently, because of this store's location to the park that's behind it, Mill Road Park, if I got that one right, it became too close to the park within 600 feet. According to a notice of violation was issued, the machines were taken out of service, covered up, and we came in and asked for some assistance in potentially getting them reoperating. Essentially, we're asking for the board to consider or recommend a waiver of the ordinance of the 600-foot requirement to allow what this operator had was 4 machines. The good news is, I think, if you're familiar with the location, it hasn't had or suffered from, I think, any real police activity related to this use. Hasn't had complaints that we're aware of. It's been a good, clean kind of operation. And I think, you know, because I know I've been here before in front of you guys with similar requests, that in our world with these smaller convenience stores competing with the Wawas of the world, it does give them a little bit of a chance to get some other additional revenue sources going when it becomes more and more complicated to compete. So having said that, I do have the operator here. Sophia, if you have any questions about that type of stuff, otherwise we're here to answer any questions.
Okay, first, Paul, can you give us, you put something in here, you went by the place or how you found it, sure, these machines?
We had my code officer actually
happened to be in there a few months ago, and he notified me that they had amusement devices in the property. So we sent a notice of violation. We got no response. We sent a second one, and then that's when we got the response. So.
Okay. With that, a question for Paul again. Even if we decided that they could have the amusement things there, would they have to go to zoning since it's, do they have to go to them with the park because of it's 600 feet or anything else they have to go to zoning? Or is this solely us?
Well, the applicants, if they met all the setback requirements, which they don't, like, assuming they did, they could have up to 3 amusement devices. Anything more than that, then it's a special exception from the zoning hearing board. The violation notice was for 6 amusement devices that were placed there.
There were 6. I thought we had 4, but
There were 6.
I would never question
Counted.
Paul.
We counted. I counted. So that's the only thing. If the condition, if the board is looking to grant their setback requirements, that the board can only permit them to have 3. Anything more than that, they have to go back, they have to go to zoning hearing board.
Okay. I'm definitely against the 4. I'm just giving my opinion.
No.
It's not everybody else's. Definitely against 4. It's a little disturbing that it was being used with 6, that many, that they didn't come here. Could be a lot of excuses, didn't know, didn't, whatever. Because we have nowhere where we have 6. My other problem with this is you may not have had a problem with these machines. We have in the township. We have had a robbery, we have had a fight in another one. We've had some problems with them, not at your location. So that's another little thing of mine that they have created some problems elsewhere in the township. So with that, I don't know what number I would be okay with. It's supposed to be just an accessory use for these machines. It's not supposed to be business relying on it per se.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I don't think, I apologize for the change in the numbers. I was unaware that there were 6. I thought it was 4 originally. I don't think the applicant would, if we would be thrilled if the board would consider the waiver for 3. Obviously, if they wanted to take any other steps, we'd go to the zoning hearing board and have to come back and all that type of stuff. But I'm not asking for your okay today to go anything beyond what would otherwise be permitted by accessory use. So.
Okay. I'm more to the 1 or 2. The ordinance says 1 to 3. I'm going to leave. Am I correct there? Okay.
That's correct. Up to 3 or something like that.
Correct,
Language,
up
yeah.
to 3. Anything more, it's special exception.
Yep.
Zoning hearing board.
Any comments?
I'm inclined to at least meet the minimum of 3. Over 3 would need to go to the zoning board.
Okay. How do you feel?
I think 3 is a good number.
Okay. Any other commissioners in the room have any comments on this? No? Okay. If you're both okay with 3, I'm okay to move it to the full board for a vote for 3. Is there anything else you or your client would want to let us know tonight? Any more on this?
No, but I just know if it would be helpful that this particular operator, kind of when they bought the store, they inherited what was there. They didn't, so when you ask like, how did it end up with 6? I think she wouldn't even know the answer to that because that's the way they inherited the store at the time. So we certainly are not looking for any complications
Right.
with the township. Paul's always wonderful to work with and we just want to make everybody happy with it.
So, Counselor, I'll just have, and Commissioner, I just have a question on that. So you say they inherited these amusement devices. Isn't it a third-party person that places these devices in the store?
Yeah, and I think what the point I was just trying to make is they've been placed in this store since 2018 and they purchased the operations in 2021. So
Okay, so it's
that's the only reason I say that.
So it's not the convenience store operator that owns these, it's an outside agent, it's a different party?
Well, I think they're placed, but the revenue is shared.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, no, good question.
Okay, if you don't want to, anybody from the public want to speak on this? No? Okay, this would be up for a full board vote date, what are we in? November 7th or?
So in the meantime, they still operate with the 6?
No, they're not
a good
operating
point.
at all.
Okay.
Yeah, as soon as, at least that's what I was told, Paul, so we'll make sure of that.
The regular meeting would be November 11th, as the 5th is a holiday, so we're not meeting on the 4th.
Okay.
So November 11th would be our regular board meeting.
I'm just going to confirm, commissioners like to confirm how many devices are there now?
Okay.
4 devices there now,
Okay.
and they're not unoperable right now.
Yeah, no, it's not.
So,
So we won't be operating them until there's a vote.
Okay.
I think that like it's upside down, the back one is sideways. There's no wire or anything in it.
Okay.
so
So this,
per Commissioner Mullins' request, maybe they want to get those down to 3 as a good faith before the vote?
I think it's a great idea.
might be smart.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We'll follow up before the next full board meeting, and I can let the board know.
Okay.
And I apologize, what was the date for the meeting?
The 11th, November 11th.
11/11. And then hopefully the Yankees will be champs by then, right? So-
And that's just a full board vote.
Wait, I'm sorry, it's November 12th because the 11th is a holiday. So we're not doing it on the 4th because it's Election Day the next day. The 11th is a holiday, so our next regular meeting is Tuesday, November 12th.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. I appreciate the consideration and thanks for the advice.
Okay.
Do you have something else, Chuck?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just one thing. I just didn't know if you've read the ordinance. The devices have to be in a location that you can monitor them. There's a lot of important rules as far as age and time of when people can use those devices. So I want to make sure that, can you see them from the cashier? Yes. Okay, and you're planning to monitor?
Bless you.
Okay, thank you.
Just have a resolution resolution from the solicitor's office.
Sure, if that's what you'd prefer, we'd be happy to do that. Yep.
And we don't have to worry about the park because it's only 3. That's correct?
Now, any amusement device, whether it's,
We are granting that too.
you grant a waiver from the 600 feet, they're less than 600 feet from a park, it's the Bonnet Lane Park, and they're less than 300 feet from a residential district.
Okay, both of those
You're
can be
gonna
ours.
grant those, sorry?
Both, that's ours, not zoning.
Correct.
Okay. All right, so that will be made up. I just want to make sure we got it all in one shot so nothing has to come back.
I can't thank you enough for that.
So-
I appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay,
Have a great night. Appreciate it.
good, thank you. Okay, we'll say, we had an executive meeting prior to this for litigation and real estate matters. Now, next, a request for a mural on 109 York Road. This is next to the train station that used to have the somewhat mural for the daycare. Right now, it is painted out gray. The percussion store moved from the middle of the block up to there. And from what I understand, Paul, this is, the percussion company is, what is it?
Pocket.
Pocket? But, okay, pocket discussion, or percussion. As far as they're the ones that are asking to do this, or is it an outside muralist asking?
Yes, correct. It's on the train station side of the building, and just to get my agenda summary, just kind of gave a brief overview. The original mural was required as part of the former daycare going in, and the flowers were approved by the Board of Commissioners at the time. So I guess the flowers ran their course. And now a new owner or tenant for the building. He painted it solid, which was fine, and then he approached me a few months ago about putting a historical mural on that wall. So based on the code requirement, I wanted the board to give their blessing on the mural. And I believe I'm not going to pronounce your last name, Chris? Keith?
Are you the muralist or the owner of the store?
I own Pocket Percussion. My name's Keith Sesniak.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, we can allow it as long as the name or the reference isn't of, you, like, you couldn't put your name on that wall, then it's a sign.
Right.
But,
I sent Paul a rendering.
Yeah, they have it.
We wanted
They have it.
Okay.
we saw those.
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
just like a rough sketch, but
But that's okay. I just wanted to make sure, because we did have somebody else that did the same thing.
Yeah.
And then put their name across the top of it.
right. I'm aware of that. I don't want the side to be anything related to our store. I kind of just wanted it to live on even if we weren't there. I think it's a great location, and I think it would draw a lot of good, positive attention to the community. So, and we're happy with trying to raise the funds to get the mural done properly too, so.
Okay. I don't have any problem with this. I guess we'd like to see when you get the actual thing, just to run it through Paul so he knows that
Yeah.
there's no advertising or anything like that of the business or a secondary business there. But I'm okay with it. It's nice
I
to,
commend you for
Yeah.
that design. We had
I didn't do
a lot
it,
of,
but
lot of trouble with much bigger developers than doing anything as nice as this.
yeah.
Yeah, I have no issues with it.
Yeah, so any other commissioners? Anybody else from the general public? Okay, then it's in your hands from here, and
Okay, just a question for the solicitor. Do we need anything official from your office for them to put the mural there? Or is it just the minutes, or just take it to a vote, the full board?
I would think a vote of the full board.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
okay,
great, thank you.
good, thank you. And the full board will vote at the same time, November 12th. Yeah, then you're free and clear. Okay. Go back to the agenda. No old business, no redevelopment, acceptance of our monthly reports, code enforcement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The committee has my, let me get back here. September monthly report for 2024. As a comparison, I've also included the 2023 report. I have nothing to add to either one of those reports, but happy to answer any questions the committee may have.
Anybody from up here?
No, I'm good.
And, any other commissioners? Anybody from the public? The only thing I will say, I have made numerous calls to Paul to aggregate. I've agitated probably him several times. We have a lot of residents that are doing things that they just don't care. And I call Paul on it. I get residents calling. We have somebody that parked 18 to 20 cars on their property, has a towing somewhere else, and they just got kicked out of there, so they put them on their property. It's a large property, but it's right next to the neighbor. We sent him out to that. He's been working with that with Sean, and Sean, they've been taking care of that. We have another property, 9 cars on Davisville Road. They even tried to hide them by putting branches on top of them. Paul's been out there numerous times. So all of these problems, I just want to thank Paul, because I'm the one either gets a call or I drive around the township all the time and I'm calling him because it's just not right for these people to be doing these things. And they just don't care, and it gets to the point where Paul has to deal with Sean, and there's a whole lot more to it at the end. But thank you, Paul, for putting up with me every time I call every week on different matters that need to be taken care of. I just wanted to say that because people don't know how many times, I don't know how many other commissioners call them as much as I do, but just to get things done.
And none of them.
Because it is a lot of work, and I can see where it could get agitated after time after time after time. These people do not care until they get a large fine in the thousands, and then all of a sudden they want to come into us or, try and rectify it.
Criticize us on Facebook.
Public Works Department.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. Excuse me. You have my September 2024 report for Public Works and Sanitation Division and your booklets. I have nothing further to add, but we'll gladly answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from commissioners up here?
No.
Okay.
I see the leave collecting has started again in my block.
We're in week 2. Still first pass, but week 2.
Oh, I understand. I'm sure people are complaining it's too early.
Oh, there's leaves. Believe it or not, there's leaves this year, first pass.
That's good.
How is sanitation department between recyclables and our tipping fees and all that stuff? Are we staying, do you predict it'll be close to the same for another year?
Well, our fees for sanitation and incinerator fees will be going up next year. They go up for the next 3 years. It's a 5-year contract.
Okay.
Then they go up each year. I forget what 2025 rate is, but this year's rate $70.62. I believe it's still in the 70 range, or like probably 75 for next year. But the recycling is based on an index that fluctuates monthly.
Okay. Are we inundated, or what about all the other things that don't fit in a trash can?
All the large item pickups that's going smoothly. The residents are calling, emailing. We have a list. We have between 5 and 15 a day,
Okay.
which isn't that bad. So once we go automated, once we go automated with the automated trucks, we'll have that rear load truck go out, and should be about an hour worth of work for them on a daily basis.
So our new system's working?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because it is new to us, and, well, we're to your department, so if it's working, that's good. Because it was a big step. Any other commissioner questions? No? Okay. Public comments, and I appreciate that we do have our own, because some people don't put the trash out in time. They make a call, our guys go back out. A lot of the other holders do not, and it's nice that we take care of the residents.
Excuse me, thank you.
Next, engineers report and landscape report. Jim is not here tonight. I didn't have anything, I didn't see anything new on it. If anybody has a question on it, if you just call Jim. I did not feel that he had to truck down here and for all this for those first 2 little problems we had. So, traffic engineers report.
I can make a couple comments there, Commissioner. I'm not sure if it's on the report, but met with the traffic engineers at Blair Mill and Easton Road. We're looking at improvements on the southeast side, which will be the Upper Moreland side. And we're looking at widening that road, preliminary stages right now of widening it. We are talking with all the neighbors where the right turn lane would occur, and we're in the process of trying to obtain some right-of-ways over there. We are seeking an additional grant for that project. You may recall that the grant had expired on that project.
You say southeast, is that the Nino side or the Speedway side?
Speedway, not the Nino side.
Southwest.
Southwest, sorry.
Right.
Southwest.
All right. I was going to
Thank
say,
you.
those properties don't have any property to take.
Going up north, southwest, correct. Also, we are moving forward with an intersection change. Dave and I met with the engineers at Commerce and Maryland. There's going to be some small changes there. We're in the process of getting all the permits through that. And lastly, that I'll mention is the culvert under the Maryland Road area. That should be occurring, should be starting very shortly. By very shortly, I mean within a few months. I think we have everything in order that we need to in order to proceed that. That is fully funded through a grant.
Now, when we do that, there was a lot of discussion, is it getting closed, or are we still going to maintain
No.
throughway?
I don't believe it's going to be closed because all the work is done from underneath.
Okay.
So,
If we do have any disruption, it would probably be smart for UPS to let them know. I mean, that's their route. And anybody else that you know that comes down there all the time, just to limit.
yeah, we'll find out if there is going to be interruption. I don't,
And at our meeting, they said there would be no interruption.
Okay.
That's all that I wanted to comment on traffic engineering.
Heavily traveled. Any other comments, questions? Public commissioners, okay. Environmental Advisory Council?
Hello. So at our October meeting, we noted that the Feather Friendly has been installed on the library windows, and Parks and Rec did a fantastic job. It looks perfect. The first gardens for the Outdoor Environmental Education Center were scheduled to go in, and they did. I ran over and took a quick look. So we've got a pollinator garden along the fence on the Treasure Sign side, and some raised beds right there near the sidewalk. So the drainage swale, the rocks have been extended all the way over to the drain. So we're on the ground. The Upper Moreland Intermediate School has been awarded a moon tree. A moon tree is seeds that went around the moon with Apollo 14. Apparently, one of the astronauts had been a forester and thought this would be an awesome idea, and we agree. And so it's now a sapling. They planted them to make sure they actually got germination, and so it's now a small sapling, and we're getting a sweet gum, which is a native tree, and it's supposed to arrive sometime this week. And so they've already prepared a site to plant it, and will be, I believe you'll be there, Pat? No? Oh, you don't know?
No, I don't. I mean, it may have been scheduled in my office, but I
Yeah,
haven't seen
okay.
it.
Well, it's not exactly scheduled yet because we still
Oh.
don't know when it's coming. We're waiting for that email from NASA. So, but it's supposed to be sometime this week.
Well-
So several EAC members will be there to help out because we're also tree tenders. So,
Make sure you have deer protection.
oh, yes, yeah,
Hate
actually.
for it to come from not far away and
Yeah,
get eaten up
yeah.
overnight.
No, they actually send directions on how they want it done, so it's going to have actual double deer protection. So, because, yeah, you don't get moon trees every day.
Yeah.
So, also, we did attend the event at Fair Oaks that Parks and Rec put on. It was definitely nice. We gave out some oak saplings and some other native plants, as well as native seeds. Parks and Rec had what's called an Enviroscape there, which is a model of a watershed to show how this, the basin affects watersheds. And then we also looked at some of the plants in there and are hoping that the residents will help remove invasives, which there aren't as many as there might be, so could be worse. Anyhow. Also, the ordinance on banning bamboo, has that made any progress?
We're working on it.
Okay. Any kind of timeline?
I know Alex and myself have been talking to Paul about it, but no necessary time.
Okay. And we also got an update from our student representative on the EAC and the Environmental Club. Looks like it has expanded this year, and they've got some really cool ideas, like refurbishing an outdoor classroom that's been there for a while, but has fallen into disuse and overgrown. And they also hope to eventually install an aquaponics area in one of the interior courtyards, and they had a bunch of cool ideas, so it's kind of nice to see them getting invigorated. All right, any questions?
Just a comment, Fair Oaks must have been very efficiently, because when I got there, Paul, or Pat, I called Pat and he said, we're done. So, he must run it better than here. So,
Could I just
Question?
get a clarification? I heard about the bamboo ordinance. Is there going to be something ex post facto to the bamboo that we're finding in the township that might be not to our best interest?
It's been talked about, nothing's been defined yet.
Okay, so it'll come this way and we'll hear about it when it
It
comes?
would go through us first.
Okay. Oh, I assume that, but I was just wondering about people that were, as things are opening up, we see bamboo in places I've never seen it before, including our streams. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? That's it? Okay.
Thanks.
Just wanted to say, that was the first time I've been out to Fair Oaks in a while. It's the first time I saw it all grown in. It's really fabulous. It's really, really attractive.
Upper Moreland Historical Commission.
Good evening, Commissioners. Our major focus is on the Sunday event that we're having this Sunday on the 27th. So much work has gone into this, and I get to say proudly, it's all about Jackie Sharapinski, who has brought this event to the township. This is the third season, and in all of her fight against cancer, she has been an amazing force to put this together again this year, and we are asking for and paying for another member of the Upper Moreland Police Department to be there. There would be one person assigned normally in the normal rotation, one we paid for before. We are up to, I think, perhaps, Mr. Stasio, she's talked to you about this along the way, 200 and some odd, over 250 people have signed up. Now, this is a free event. I want to make sure nobody thinks we're buying tickets, because we're not. We're just getting people to tell us, so for food and drink, et cetera, that we would know what to do. So a lot of people are apparently interested in this particular spooktacular at the farmstead.
You're asking us for that one?
No, we're paying for it. I'm just informing you that there would be two officers and that.
I was going to say, there's normally one there.
Did you reach out to the police chief to confirm all this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Jackie is on top of absolutely everything.
Would you remind everyone the day and the times, please?
October 27th. It's Sunday because it is the weekend of Upper Moreland. So, grab your hot chocolate, your coffee, and do Pumpkins on Parade on Saturday, and Spooktacular, family-friendly. Fire department will also, of course, be there because we have a bonfire. And for those of us who remember our high school bonfires for all those years kept, yes, we have brought that back. So at least we have a modified bonfire over there so people can come and enjoy.
This Sunday, Farmstead Park, starting at 5 o'clock?
5 o'clock, 5 to 7, yes. So we get the dark and you get the spooky, and then you all get to go home. Yes, school and all that. The Treasure Signs is finishing the Red Lion Inn in time for 2026 at the rate we've been going. And I've spoken, of course, with Public Works that all the signs that we have will all be in before the end of this year, which, given the pace that we have had in the past 3 years, I admit, finally, we've come to that goal. And we will be there for the budget meeting that you all have, because we would like to, I reached out to Mr. Bates about that, to be asking about a bit more in our budget so that we can do more things, remembering that the celebration is the Declaration of Independence, but the start of the revolution was in April of 1775. So we were hoping to start what we do here in recognition of that event. Other than that, we do support, and I talked to Keith about this, Pocket Percussion. It's in my report. They had reached out to, knowing that they're an historical block, and we certainly support what we have seen too from from Keith, for that side. And agreeing with all of you, there will be no meeting in November due to the national election. We will not try to be meeting in any spot, because we'll have people who will still be voting. And our last meeting of the year will be December 3rd. And we, of course, as always, invite everybody in the township to come, whether you have an historical home or not. Any questions from the board?
Anybody?
Commissioners?
Public?
No? All right.
The only comment I'll let you know, Katie will be in charge of the 300 and whatever years, 300 years.
So it'll all go through Parks and Rec and Katie Kohler?
Yes, it'll all go
Perfect.
through Katie. She's preparing a budget, she's preparing a sponsors thing. She's done it for other townships, as well as here with Pat for years. She will be the lead person on everything because she'll go through us.
Perfect.
But she's going to be the lead person, and I think she was going to use also Parks and, what do you call it?
Parks and Rec Advisory Council.
Advisory Council will be involved too, so there's a start, and then from there, it's,
Coalition, perfect.
yeah, it's everybody else that's going to help out.
Okay.
You would talk to her.
Will do, thank you.
Okay.
Okay,
We didn't know what a budget would be, so we kept it in-house and just told Katie, you come up with what
Okay.
we're going to need for bands and whatever you decide.
oh, perfect, love it, thank you.
Okay? Any other comments? Commissioner comments, I have one. Corner of the old eBay store, the old eBay store now, we had approved $100,000 for that to get redone, that whole corner. They came back, they needed $50,000 more for what they think to finish the whole thing. So it's really 150. I had mentioned in a prior meeting that we could just take that out of the in lieu of from our building and what contractors have donated. Just wanted to clarify, I said that once before. Are there any commissioners that are against that? Okay, because it's been 2 years now, we haven't done it, and maybe it's just not enough clarification for me. So if you would get with Jim and make it happen. Okay, because it's ARPA money, so we need to make sure that that's just definitely in your thing for the ARPA money, and then the other 50,000 is.
It's calculated in the budgets for those, and it is scheduled to be an agenda item at the November meeting.
Okay.
And what is the improvement?
We're going to make it look like more of, not exactly, when you go into Veterans Park. We're going to take out 3 to 4 parking spaces there. We own 12 of them. We're going to take out 3 or 4 right on the corner, clean that whole corner up. There'll be benches, there'll be trees behind it, make it look just like the other corner. But I've been asking for 2 years and it keeps getting bounced. And so I just want to let Jim know that it's okay, and you got to deal with Jim on it. So he'll give you guys can come up with all the,
So that has to be finished in 2025, right?
no.
ARPA funding has to be spent through the end of 2026.
Okay.
It has to be dedicated the end of this year, though. So Jim's aware of all this. The funding has been set aside. We're going to have an agenda item in November. If the board approves that, it goes to the full board. I certainly think this is something that can occur in spring, summer.
That's what I'm thinking, like spring.
Yeah, 2026, but we have to have it.
Well, I'm thinking 2025.
It could happen next year if, yeah.
Okay.
We'll find out.
Good.
We needed a resolution on that? A vote?
To move it
Is it
forward?
December to do that?
I'm sorry.
I thought you said we were going to vote on it next week.
No, if the full board wants to authorize the spending of that money, but I think the board has already agreed to spend that money. So Jim's going to make a presentation with a concept plan and the costs associated with it, and then look for direction if you want us to move forward with that project.
Anything else? Okay, good. With that, all adjourned.
Thanks, Dave.